You're listening to The Services Brief, part of Main Street Media. I'm Taylor. It's Monday, May 25th, 2026. 3 stories across the service economy and what each one means for the owner. Let's start with the cost picture. New data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics puts unit labor costs up 2.3% in Q1 2026. Productivity grew only 0.8% over the same period. For a service business where labor is 60 to 70% of your cost structure, that gap matters. You're paying more per hour, and the additional output you're getting per dollar isn't keeping pace. There's another figure in that BLS release worth your attention. The labor share of total output, the portion of everything produced that ends up in workers' pockets as compensation, fell to 54.1% in Q1, the lowest level recorded since the BLS began tracking it in 1947. That sounds like good news for owners, and in one sense, it is. If you've been disciplined about staffing, your per-job margins may be holding better than you expect right now. But the historical record says that when labor share compresses this far, wages catch up, and they often catch up fast. Owners who aren't actively documenting what good productivity looks like in their shops today will have no baseline to defend when the labor market tightens again. The concrete implication here: raise your prices while your cost structure is relatively contained, and build the productivity benchmarks you'll need when the labor market swings back. Second story. The conversation around AI and field service operations has moved from whether to try it to why you haven't yet. Research from across the field service management software space shows 93% of service organizations have now implemented some form of AI. The more meaningful number is 74% who say they're actively increasing their AI spending in 2026. The platforms most service businesses already pay for, ServiceTitan, Jobber, HouseCall Pro, are adding autonomous scheduling, predictive maintenance alerts, and AI-generated estimates as standard features rather than premium add-ons. The shift underway is from AI that assists your techs and dispatchers to AI that acts without waiting to be told. Scheduling that fills open slots automatically. Job notes that generate themselves from voice recordings. Dispatch routing that accounts for real-time traffic and technician certifications simultaneously. This is not about replacing your best people. It's about eliminating the back-office hours that keep your managers from doing anything more valuable than shuffling a dispatch board. The concrete implication: if you haven't logged into your FSM platform's updated feature set in the past 90 days, spend 90 minutes doing it this week. The product you're paying for is not the same as the one you set up 2 years ago. The owners who understand what their software can do now will move faster than the ones still running workarounds. Third story, and this one hits close to home if you're in HVAC, plumbing, or electrical. Southern Home Services, the Griffin Partners-backed platform out of Maitland, Florida, acquired Blazer Heating, Air and Plumbing in Richmond, Virginia. The deal closed May 18. Blazer is a 37-year-old company. 37 employees, Mechanicsville headquarters, a well-established name across the Richmond metro for 3.5 decades. The founder, Scott, is 68 and heading into retirement. General Manager Bobby Broyles stays on to lead operations. What makes this deal worth your attention is not the transaction itself. It's the map it sits on. There are now 27 active private equity-backed platforms rolling up HVAC, plumbing, and electrical businesses across the United States. Apex Service Partners alone has assembled 107 brands, $1.3 billion in annual revenue, and more than 8,000 tradespeople across roughly 300 businesses. Southern Home Services used this acquisition to enter the Richmond market, and they are not stopping there. These platforms are not chasing distressed businesses. They are specifically looking for established, owner-operated companies in growing residential markets with strong local reputations, which is exactly what Blazer was. If you've built a trades business over 2 decades or more and you haven't had a serious conversation with an M&A advisor about what it's worth right now, you're making investment and hiring decisions without the information that should be shaping them. The concrete implication: you don't have to sell, but you should know your number. That's it for Monday. Find all of Main Street Media's shows wherever you listen. Subscribe, leave a review, and I'll see you Friday for the Business Spotlight.